So let's kind of have a chat with what it is that I see, and you can tell me if this kind of feels like it. When you talk about bringing your hands back into your backswing, trying to bring your arms inward, I think what that's doing is that's preventing you from turning. So, relative to, say, a target line, I'm really good with having the arms and club move inward away from that, but I want to do it by doing it with my stomach, with my chest, with my core, like my middle, my inside, trying to feel like that's what turns this back, because as you start to take the club up to the top, the club gets a little narrow. Got a little bit too extra bend here, a little bit of bend here, we get a little bit narrow. So from here on the downswing, you've got to speed the arms up early, and what that's going to do is that's going to now bring it narrow on this side. It's just really kind of letting this lengthen and shorten too much. Okay. Like in the golf swing, these just really want to stay long. They're not trying to bend. They might bend a little bit at the end, but they really don't want to bend in the swing, kind of like pumping. So in a nutshell, what I want you to try to get to here is I want you to try to feel like you're turning your body the most, the earliest. Now we could think of the front of you turning, or it's the back of you turning to the target, but I want you to feel like you can do that the most, meaning that, hey, my arms and club are still in the same setup position here as they were there, because I've turned to take them inside. Does that make sense? Okay. So every step along the way in your backswing, I want to see that you've turned your body more and more and more. Okay? And that's where we're going to start. But the second piece to kind of get into this too next is that once you've turned this way and you've got your body cranked up more, we need to get this back all the way around to here, and it has to lead your arms. So when we're going from here and the arms are coming inside and going back around you this way, this kind of around your body motion with the arms is what I'm trying to eliminate. And when you keep them in front of you, as you turn the most this way and turn the most that way, they're going to move. But let's work on the backswing part first. Yeah. So when it comes to the follow-through stuff, can you set up to an imaginary ball? So I like to get visual, and I just try and get visual into your head. So if I've got a big line right here off from your foot, right off the middle of your foot, we need to try and get that knee all the way to this line. We need to get that hip, your left hip, all the way to this line, and so up and so forth. So when you're making this motion, feeling like you can turn this way the most, I then need you to feel like it's this side getting all the way forward. Because right now, if the arms are kind of going around you like this, that's the steering wheel going like this in the car. Like sometimes it works, right? So by trying to control the club face by the inside of you, right? Your chest going this way, right? And your body turning that way, that's what's going to move the golf club. That's kind of our idea here today. Instead of having the arms go around you, I want to get you to go around the golf ball. Make sense?
It does.
For now, it's gonna get easier.
The ears hear it. See if the body.
Okay, so let's make a practice swing. Okay, so crank it to the top, hold it up there. Okay, now I want you to go all the way through, all the way to that line like I just said. Hold it. Okay, one more time. Now I want your knee, I want your left side to get to this line before the club gets to that line. So big turn all the way up, good. Now left side through. There, that's different. That's different. One thing I think we have to kind of talk about is, what the arms are supposed to do in the swing. And the arms aren't really necessarily supposed to swing the club toward the target. My arms are supposed to go up and down, kind of like I'm chopping wood. But when I start adding some turn into that, we start to get into a golf swing kind of a thing. So one of the reasons why I think that when you get into your finish position, it gets a little bit tough, is that as you start swinging the club into the golf ball, you kind of lift it up again. So we get it all the way up here. And I want it to feel as though that you're getting a big turn of your body, and then a big turn of your body this way, okay? And then this gets to stay a little bit lower, trying to make this thing move because all of this moved. Okay? Through. Good. Hit the ground, let the club go down, push your arms down. Okay, not bad. So show me the same motion with the shorter finish. Not bad. Okay. All right. Okay, not bad. Okay, so set up to this one. So pretend that I'm standing here and I want you to hit the same shot. Just don't bring your arms so far forward that you hit me. Okay? Closer. Closer. Not too bad. Way to go. That's different. So watch a couple of these, maybe a demonstration, kind of get something. So the biggest thing that I'm seeing in the swing is that when the ball curves both ways, the shaft's really doing this a lot. So it's twisting both ways. So the way that the club can twist the most in the backswing is when the arms start to work the club back and it's not the body. Because if my body starts to work the club back, then the club can't twist. So that's the whole reason for the backswing, is to take some of the arm bending out, which makes this thing twist. Same thing on the follow through. If this club is twisting a lot on the follow through, most of the time it's because the arms are swinging up too far. So to power this club, I'm trying to get you to feel like you're moving one way and moving the other way. See how low my arms finished here? I'm not trying to lift the club up again. I'm not trying to put it forward again. I'm trying to get my body to turn the club and my arms away this way, right? Trying to just my body turned this away. I don't care what it looks like. It's more about turning my body away that way and turning my body this way. Oops. Okay, you'll notice at the end of the swing that this part of the club doesn't get higher than this part of the club. But the second that the club starts to pass this too early, or it gets too long too early, that's when it can twist. Okay? So a little stuff on the golf swing there, a little bit of stuff on what I'd like you to try to do, and feeling that the turn this way to get this to go back a different way, and then feel as though from there you're turning and you're standing and you're not trying to power this with your arms. We can see, right, I'm not doing much with my arms past here. But if there's an idea in the swing that the arms have to pass the middle of my body to swing this club fast, that's one of the reasons why it does this a lot. Okay, so if I was a mirror, right, and you're trying to feel like what am I supposed to feel like in my finish, it's turning through to face your target with your arms and club down.
Lower the butt.
Yeah, that's where I want us to try and finish right now. Same move, arms a little lower. Not bad. Okay, one more time. Hold it here. Okay, can you feel like the middle of you pushes forward and you lean back a little bit? There, now you're taller. That's what I want. Big turn, tall and turn. Good, really good. I'm sure that felt different off the club face.
Yeah.
So the amount that the club face twists around the shaft is what I'm trying to kind of control. And we're doing so by trying to feel like the inside of you leads the outside of you all the way to the end. And that's shortening up the swing. So most of the time when I ask someone to try and work into their full swing through this punch shot, they start gaining 2 or 3 clubs of distance. The ball goes about the same height and it's easier to hit straight. So they start playing golf like this. We'll talk about what the ball does once you start hitting it solid. We'll start talking about which curve you want, or higher or lower. But for now, all of this is a ball contact first drill that's trying to prevent any curve. I mean, it sounds kind of redundant to say, hey, there's a drill that makes the ball just go straight. Why doesn't everybody do it, right? But it's not the fastest. It's not going to send the ball the farthest. So as soon as you start incorporating needing to hit 9-iron from 160 out of the rough at Pebble Beach, you need to do something different. But for now, we're going to control this thing and try to get the insides of you working a little harder this way instead of it going that way.
Less armsy, a little more.
Totally. Yeah, your arms are going to feel soft and loose and they get dragged and thrown all over the place. I think the one piece at the end of the swing to kind of keep note of is this one. This goes forward, this goes back. That little bit of lean back at the end, that's what's going to make this happen easier. So we'll go through a little bit of the hitting the odd one fat, hitting the odd one thin. Again, trying to take out all the curve is priority number 1. And when we get to the tempo of it, we can start hitting the ball. Well, you'll find the tempo. Yeah, good. Forward and tall, almost like you're just punching it forward. If we had 2 goals at the finish, the first goal is my body leaned back like the most without me feeling like this is ridiculous, okay? Like just most lean back, and are my arms and hands the lowest at the end? That would be kind of like the goal. And if we can get to a point where we can get things finished that way, that's the one that's going to have the most control of that club face. It's going to go the straightest every time. But it's so weird to ask somebody to give up control of their arms and hands when that's the stuff that's holding onto the club. Not bad at all. Not bad. So for every time that you hit the ball solid and it goes to the right, your hands are too high at the end. The ones where your hands finish the lowest might push out to the left a bunch. Not too bad. So with my junior golfers, the little guys, I call it the banana. And they do it really well because kids, they create more power than they weigh. And when they finish their swing, they're trying to get back like this, like a banana, right? And it's that old school reverse C. But as long as we're not bent at the knees going like that, which creates some serious back stuff, it's tall to create that C. All that's going to do is launch your feeling of a punch shot straight up into the clouds. Awesome. Let's build on this one right here. That's really good. Now, you might say, well, I can't really play golf like this. We're going to lengthen the follow through just the right amount that no one's going to notice that you're feeling like it stops short and it looks like that. I'll show you the videos afterwards, but that last shot you hit was like almost textbook. Okay? If we want to evolve from that, it's going to be doing it harder, but mechanically you did it great. Ball a little right, handle a little high. Okay, so you've got some tools to work with. Same golf club, since it's like, I'm sure that your swing's the same with every club in your bag, like every other golfer. Let's hit that whole pile doing this, and just recognize like how many balls go right for every ball that goes left. And we're gonna play your little left-right game. Okay, awesome. Hey, there we go. Okay, you're getting the shaft to release and whip relative to your arm very, very well. The reason that it's going out to the right is as that's whipping through, you're still got a little bit of this forward of here. And so the more that we can feel like we just kind of lean back on it, pushing the mid forward in order to lean back, that's going to be our key. That's the priority. Good. Yep, keep going. That stand-up lean-back thing should make it feel like it launches the ball. It's going to be a really cool speed source once you feel it. Okay, one more time. Hold your finish on this. I'm going to get you to move a little bit once you're there, so try and freeze like a mannequin. One more. Hold it. Okay, so this club, can you lean over that club a little bit? Keep going. That's maintaining your posture. I know that's a lot. Okay, hold it, breathe. You'll feel like this stretches a bunch right here. This is crunching, all right? So it's like we have two C positions at the end of our swing. We have this one here, which you see like that, and then from this view, when I'm finishing my swing like that, I still have to lean over to the right a little bit to keep that same incline from here. Okay, so I like your backswing. I like where it's going because you're doing it with your body, you're starting to pull your arms more this way, which is really good. From here, you're standing up better, which is getting the club through. But if you stand up and get vertical too fast, it pulls things over onto this side, right? If I did the opposite and I got into too much bend that way, I'd probably send it out to the left too far. So it's just a little tweak toward the finish where you're standing tall this way. Just feel like it's a little bit of a bend down to the left. Yeah. Give me a couple practice swings and hold the finish. Just stretch it out a bit. Good. Yep. Just fake it till you make it. positive side of all this, you're doing all the right stuff. It's just a little bit slow because you're trying to figure out the timing. But what you're doing is correct.
Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't feel smooth.
No, that's right. I'm not seeing like your swagger in it yet. Nice. That's the first one that I've seen you move through, forward, and tall before the arms came shooting through. So you sequenced that one almost on the other side of what we're looking for. You air it on the other side, which is cool because you're exaggerating it too much. So let's do that same thing. If you can add some speed, great. Okay, so in your downswing, from the time that you get to the top of your swing to change direction, your hands and your arms are out racing your body trying to get into this motion. And so I think about trying to get into this motion at the end of my swing before my backswing's even finished. Like, it's my whole intention on putting this club into the golf ball is trying to get my body forward and tall. It's going to move my arms and my hands and the club. It's going to create the lag that I want. It's going to line up the club face for me. It's the inside controlling the outside. You know, when kids go to the fair, they see the merry-go-round, they think the horses are actually running and jumping. When it's the inside thing controlling the outside part. And that's going to be us right here. Our chest, our body, our torso. The more that you can get your torso in front of the golf ball, the easier it is to hit down on the golf ball. There's our divot. The more that you can get your torso to stand up toward the target, the more it takes the club path, from your perspective, it's going to shoot it more into out toward the left, and as you stand up, it's going to send the ball very high. It has a chance to go from left to right, little bits of draws. So everything in your swing right now is calling for a draw, except the ball needs to start more to the left. So ball a little forward in your stance, it's a little too far back. Okay, now get forward, get tall, hips in front of the chest. Good shot. Very good shot. Okay, one more. Ball more forward. Okay. Let's make some practice swings, like maybe a dozen. It's going to feel weird on the follow through. You're going to have to do something differently with your speed and your body. Keep your arms down. Don't raise them up. Good. Different. Okay, so one more time. Take it up to the top. Okay, hold it there. Okay, now start turning it through with the body. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Okay, now thrust your hips forward so you stand tall and lean back. Lean back more. Hips forward, lean back more. Hold it there. That's where I'm trying to get you. See how far forward this was relative to that guy? That's the move. Is that this stays back as that goes through. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull that all the way through and catch up to me. But I don't want to try and go here where it passes my body, and then the second that my body decides to stand up and turn, now it's over here, it's close to me and I'm bent. Make sense? Okay, so all the stuff that I've talked about today goes from like big theory stuff to your to-do list to trying to accomplish it. And right now it's kind of boiled down to the idea that, you know, your right arm has to find a way not to bend through the shot. And that means it can't blast off away from the body. The body has to turn this right arm through, so by the time it does blast off, it can stay long. I'd say all of your ball flight, all of your contact, all of your repeatability comes into, can you keep your right arm straight forever? And like I said, your challenge is at the end of it. Yeah, with this drill feels as though that the arm, the left arm, moves at like 1 mile an hour. The lead arm has no speed, right? Because all I'm trying to do is get my body to face the target and pull this arm around more. So no arm speed, lots of body speed, body turn, get it all from that. You know, if I could somehow, like in the downswing, just turn off all of your right arm muscles. Had to turn them off so they got long, they stretched, and if they can stay stretched as they pull around, they'll end up really long at the end. Yes, great shot. Awesome. Now, your evolution of this, right? I mean, not to add more shit to your plate, but you know, when you start to feel like
self-diagnosis now, that's good.
I think you're getting some good feels with it for sure. As this starts to get more forward and this starts to get longer in the follow through, that club's going to start to rehinge itself up this way, and that's going to look more like your finish. But when you had the grip, passing your body really fast, staying close to you, winning the race to the finish relative to your body, that's the one where the ball can go everywhere. Right. So trying to get to a point in your finish position that the arms are wide, but the club can do anything it wants over there. I don't really care. It's just more about keeping your arm long. Okay? So your full finish will feel like it's your arms are long and the club just points up to the sky somewhere. That'll feel like that's the end of your swing. Well, it's going to get there today. Yeah, good. There you go. Well done. And so if the finish position, and I'll just use an exaggerator here, like if it's a bowling finish position and you're finished this way leaning forward, that arm's going to bend all day. Right. But if I finish more like I'm trying to high jump back away from the target, that's going to launch my arm out long. And that's when the arm finishes high, because my body launches it through this high jump move here, all the way up. Yeah. And the legs to stand you tall. I think you've got the idea now. So what's going to get you tall and what's going to get you into this finished position most is going to be your legs standing you tall. Almost like, I mean, you can see the young guys on tour, young guys like 26 or so, right? These guys have their legs long by the time the club gets to the ball. That extension, that jumping off the ground, makes them kind of look like they're jumping off, like moving their feet a bit. Great idea. But I think that when you finish your swing, you're still a little bent here, which makes it easier to stay bent here. And then the arms finishing long is correct, but they end up being really high, right? They're above my chest. And that usually leads to a fat or a thin shot. So I think that the idea to get into this finish is going to be your front knee, your right knee, has to feel like it's straight and straight up to get you, yeah. Good, one more time, same idea. Try and time it, the right knee straight, same time the club hits the ball. Almost. I hope it feels like you jump. Right leg so straight that you jump. Almost. Different move. Same thing. If that leg straightening is a power source, that kind of means it has to happen before the club hits the ball. And I'm a big believer that if I straighten up really fast with that front leg this way, it's going to really launch that club down into the ball. So let's see about trying to time it where you straighten your right knee before the club gets to the ball. Ball went left. Okay, good. One more time. Big backswing. Try and time it. A lot of juice in that one. Good. Your arms going toward the target is out racing your jump. It's happening early. So get the jump happening a little sooner. Slower with the arms. Oh, getting closer. Yep. There we go. Nice shot. So if the arms can stay soft and you can feel as though that their motion doesn't apply any speed to the golf club, then I think that's something where you're going to be able to change your follow through. As you start down into this swing, the arms are trying to literally pass the middle of your body and swing the club in the direction of the target. But you know, when I look at all of the different 3D studies in the gym where the guys are suited up and whatnot, and then I see the training programs that they get from it, when it comes to isolating the arm speed in the golf swing, the arm speed is used by taking a medicine ball and slamming it down this way as the body goes toward the target. So it's not taking the medicine ball and making it go toward the target, it's getting it to go down. So when we're trying to work on your arm swing, I want you to try to feel as though that you're taking it up as far as you can here, only to drop it down back in front of you. I don't want you to feel like you're taking the club and you're pushing it forward toward the target. That's where you're having a hard time timing the stand up and the club hitting the ball. It's because the arms and the club and your body, are both going in that direction. So if we looked at this as though that the arms in your hands are only responsible for lifting the club away from the ground and toward the ground. But if my body turns and gets up against the wall, that's what puts the golf club that way, toward the target.